fans, while we have this moment, if you would all do me a favor, could we have all veterans of our armed services please stand?
Good afternoon and welcome to another high school football presentation on BayPreps.com. Today is the final day of the West Catholic League and the CCS regular season, as today the Serra Padres play host to the St. Francis Lancers in a battle of two storied programs in this outstanding conference. I am Pat O'Rourke. We're at Freitas Field in San Mateo for this season finale. Both teams know they're going to the postseason, but these teams are still playing for seeding a little bit once they get to the postseason. We know Serra's going to be in the Open Division, and St. Francis is going to be in Division II, and both teams could be section champions several weeks from now. But first, let's talk about this contest, and join me once again is Robert Dieters, who was with me last week in the Serra St. Ignatius game, and this is Senior Day, so obviously it's a big day for the seniors here at Serra High School.
Yes, and Pat, this is an important day as Eric Redwood will be leaving us this year, and we're gonna have you're gonna see a new halfback next year for Serra, as well as a new kicker. So I think Serra, it's gonna be an interesting year for next year, but this team's been unique, and last home game of the season, and yeah, I mean I think they're gonna have a good year.
Well, and speaking of Eric Redwood too, he is only 118 yards away from becoming Serra's all-time leading rusher, breaking the mark set by Eric Wilson, who set the record last season, is now at the University of Washington. So in a storied program, you could have all-time leading rushers breaking records in back-to-back seasons. But we're going to see the St. Francis and their pass-happy offense first, and they have a very lethal passing attack. So it'll be a test for Serra right off the bat as the Toms kickoff is near the goal line and will get into the end zone for the touchback, and St. Francis will start at the 20. They, of course, have Michael Lauk at quarterback. Lauk, outstanding player, who's completed 55% of his passes this year, 132 completions and 241 attempts. He's thrown for 1,751 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 88. So one team loves to throw the ball, one team loves to run the ball, and it's a good battle to complete the regular season. Lauk out of the gun. He's got a back set to his left. Man goes in motion. They'll line up with a lot of motion in different formations. Will St. Francis, as we are underway, the first offensive snap. The pass across the middle is incomplete. Lauk had some time to throw, but he was unable to make the connection to Austin Woodard, who is the leading receiver on this St. Francis team, and it's 2nd down and 10. Woodard has 576 yards receiving this year, and Charlie Clark has 428, one of the better receiving tandems you will find in the Bay Area. Two receivers set off to Lauk's right, one to the left. Again, he's out of the gun. Now he's got two receivers set to each side as Woodard goes to the left and lines up in a slot. But the pass comes the other way. It's incomplete. Somebody miscommunicated there. It looked like he was looking for Charlie Clark, who was running more of a seam pattern instead of the out that Lauk was expecting, and it's quickly 3rd and 10 for the Lancer offense.
And looking for this game as the top defensive players, Justin Reyes will be one, as well as Peter Tuipulotu.
Tuipulotu, the leading tackler in the Serra team, coming off an outstanding game, as is that entire Serra defense last week against St. Ignatius, particularly in the first half of that game. 3rd down and 10. Lauk throwing for the 3rd straight time. Pass far sideline is off target, incomplete, intended for Alex Andrighetto, the 165-pound junior. So St. Francis, 3 straight incompletions to open this game, and Serra will get the football. And Serra could get good field position here. As lining it back to return is Aesop Winston, 145-pound junior. Lauk is also the punter. So it's something to keep an eye on throughout the day when St. Francis has a more makeable 4th down. If he lines up in a punt, he is a threat, obviously, to throw back there. But we have flags coming in for the first time today on this 4th down and 10 punt. And it'll be a procedure penalty against the Lancers. St. Francis coming off a 35-21 loss to Mitty. St. Francis has a very good defense, but that's the most points they've allowed this season. Serra, meanwhile, is averaging over 30 points per contest. St. Francis opened the season with a loss to Oak Grove 21-20. Oak Grove last night just completed a perfect regular season. They're 10-0 and likely to be the number 1 seed in the CCS Open Division. Here's the punt. And Lauk's punt is high, but it is not very deep. It's going to bounce at the 44-yard line of St. Francis, and it takes a Serra bounce. And Serra's going to start inside Lancer territory at the 42-yard line. So great field position for the Padres with 11:38 to go in the opening quarter. Their first possession of this game, and we'll see Eric Redwood on the field. Redwood coming off a 227-yard effort against SI last week in that 47-21 Padre win. He now has 1,309 yards rushing on the season. Zach Kazikoff is the quarterback. He is under center. Serra opening up with the double wings. Arco goes in motion. Here's Kazikoff running some option. He'll keep it, and he will be taken down right near the line of scrimmage. Kazikoff, 134 yards rushing on the season. He ran for a score last week in that win against SI. 6 different Padres scored in that game last week. It's going to be second down and 10 after the no gain for Kazikoff, who has thrown for 513 yards and ran for 134 this season. Of course, he will not throw often. He passed for 59 yards last week. That's about the norm for Serra, as he'll give the handoff to the man running left. And this is Kava Cassidy, who ran for one of those touchdowns last week, and he picks up 6 yards. He had 53 yards rushing last week and 178 on the season coming into today, and it brings up third down and 4 from the Lancer 36.
There's going to be a lot of different guys running the ball today.
Last week we saw Cassidy, Arco, McGee, Redwood, Malapei, Kazikoff all scored touchdowns on 3rd and 4. This is Redwood's first carry. Redwood trying to dance his way between the tackles, but he's only going to pick up a yard or 2, and it's going to be 4th down for Serra. And this is the spot in the field where you would expect the Lancers to go for it. They haven't been shy before on 4th down, and right now inside the St. Francis 35-yard line on 4th and 2. It looks like they're going to go for it. Again, Eric Redwood needing 118 yards rushing today, become the school's all-time leading rusher. Right now, they're hoping to get maybe 2 from him, if in fact they do give him the football. It's Arco going in motion. He'll get it on the fly sweep. Arco puts his head down, takes a hit, but it looks like he might have got the first down. He needed to get inside the 32, and it looks like he did. They will move the chains for the Padres as Angelo Arco on his first carry. And he's someone that, as we've mentioned before, continues to get worked into this offense more and more each week.
And he gets big yardage. I've noticed a lot of the games that even against SI, he had that huge run.
Yep, and at one of those scores, he ended up with 58 yards rushing on the day. We've got an injured player as Nafu Cassidy of St. Francis, a 250-pound senior, walks off the field. Hopefully we'll see him back in this game. It's first down and 10 for Serra from the 31-yard line as the Padres just converted a 4th down. Receiver split wide to the right side is Josh Cordova. He had a very nice game on both sides of the ball last week. Arco goes in motion. The handoff goes straight up the middle to Redwood, and the Lancer defense is ready for it as they stop Redwood for a minimal gain.
Wrapped up by number 80, Shane Arden.
Shane Arden is one of the outstanding players on this St. Francis defense. 6'4", 225-pound senior. He leads the team in sacks with 8.5. And he just stopped Redwood after a yard gain. It's second down and 9. Redwood, the wing back to the right. He's the one that went in motion. He'll get the pitch. Redwood over the left side has a hole. He's taken down at the 20, but he gets a Padre first down. So Eric Redwood with the 10-yard carry. He ran for 227 last week. And he seems to save his best performances the better the defense. And he's going up against a good defense today in St. Francis, one that did put together 2 consecutive shutouts earlier this season and wins against Willow Glen and Sacred Heart Cathedral. First down and 10 from inside the 20-yard line. Padres starting with a short field. From the 42, they're now in the red zone. Kazikoff wants to throw for the first time. Pass in the end zone, deflected and intercepted by Landon Beatty. So the Padres throw the ball for the first time, and Kazikoff's pass, there was good coverage on the play. It was deflected and picked off by Beatty, who comes up with his 3rd interception of the year.
That was an interesting interception right there as it tips off, and he just gets it for the touchback.
Beatty knew where he was on the field, tried to make sure to get those feet down before he went out of bounds, and he had plenty of room. And it ends up being first down and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Lancers. They went 3 and out on 3 straight incompletions the first time they had the ball. Wide open is Alex Andrighetto, as Lauk was pressured there, and Andrighetto picks up a short gain. We'll call it 4 yards. The first completion of the game for Lauk and St. Francis. Lauk today needs 4 completions and 14 attempts to become the school's single season record holder in those departments. And we have movement all over the place, and the Lancers going to get their second procedure penalty. Lauk should be able to break those school records today.
Good ball, false start, the indication.
So this will move St. Francis back, and it's going to be second down and 11 yards to go. 8:01 to play in the opening quarter. Second possession for the Lancers. In the regular season finale for each team, one of 3 games going on in the WCAL today. A big one going on in the city as Mitty is taking on St. Ignatius, and also in San Francisco, Reardon is hosting Valley Christian. Handoff, the first run of the game for the Lancers, and that goes nowhere. They have not been able to get a ton of yards on the ground this season, and Austin Gubor gets stopped for a loss of a couple.
And the D-line today for the Padres will probably are going to do really well and stop the running game.
Serra, a very good defensive line, and talk about Matt Dickerson, Brendan Hassel, and Daniel Lavulo. Here is Lauk looking to throw down the near sideline, and it's incomplete. Intended for Austin Woodard. Justin Reyes came over to provide some good defense. Also, Greg Newbeck here on senior day, doing a good job defensively, and the Padre defense forces another 3 and out.
Good job by the defense. If they keep on stopping them today, they won't score.
So here is the ensuing punt. A much better punt from Lauk. It's a fair catch called by Winston on Serra's half of the field. But still good field position again for the Padres as they'll start at their own 47-yard line. Their second possession, the last one ending in an interception.
Noticeable injury, Kenny McMillan, the wide receiver, is out today.
And of course, Serra's lost a while ago in their WCAL opener. They lost Hamilton Onawahi for the season to a torn ACL. That was a real devastating loss. A guy that's a big-time college prospect on both sides of the ball. So here's Kazakov. Redwood goes in motion, gives the handoff to Redwood. He's got a hole over the left side. He takes inside Lancer territory and close to a first down. And they're going to spot it at the St. Francis 44-yard line, a gain of 9 for Redwood, who's at 22 yards on 4 carries. Redwood lines up behind Kazakov. Arco and Cassidy are the wingbacks. Arco goes in motion. He gets the pitch. Arco's got a hole. Off the right side, he's got a first down inside the Lancer 35. 11 yards for Arco.
15-yard pickup gives the Padres a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So here's Serra, again inside Lancer territory. The only time they threw the ball was an interception. They'll keep it on the grounds here and get some good yards on first down. Kava Cassidy gets the carry, his second of the ball game. Cassidy picks up 6. He's got 12 yards on 2 carries. So good yardage here early on for the Padres. For Redwood, Arco, and Cassidy, they have combined for 48 yards. Second down and 4. 6:13 to play in the opening quarter. The pitch to Redwood. Redwood bounces away from a man and takes it down to the 25. He'll be a yard shy of the first. Eric Redwood, just a steady, steady player for this Padre team last season and again this year, his senior year. Guy that has 20 touchdowns on the ground this season. And it's going to go down to the record books as one of the best Padre running backs of all time, and he's trying to become the leading rusher of all time as he gets the pitch. Redwood up the middle, gets the first down on 3rd and 1. He's up to 29 yards on 6 carries. Redwood also in a battle with Valley Christian's Ryan Severson for the league's rushing title. Severson has 64 more rushing yards on the year entering today. First down and 10 from the 20. And this is Redwood taking a hit, but as he usually does, he's able to fall forward and get a couple of yards. He goes 5'8", 175 pounds. Of course, Valley Christian playing right now as well as they're playing at Reardon. A better matchup for Severson. Nothing against Reardon, but they are the last place team in this conference as the pitch goes to Arco. Arco brought down. Great tackle made by the Lancers. Grant Tinker, their leading tackler on the year. 6 foot, 200 pound senior, brings down Arco and actually brings him down for a yard loss. It's going to be 3rd down, and they're calling it 8. .4:12 to play in the opening quarter. This is a second Padre possession. They've had good field position in the first 2. Fake the pitch one way, Kazakov throwing. His pass caught by Jacobs inside the 5. He is chopped down. It's going to be 1st down and goal. Beatty, who made the interception earlier, makes the tackle on Jacobs, a 6'3", 215-pound senior. But we do have a flag down in the Serra backfield. And it's going to be coming back, wiping out what was going to be a 16-yard gain. Holding penalties from the spot of the foul, so mark it way back to the 36-yard line. Here's Kazakov throwing near side, looking for Mitchell, and incomplete. So on 3rd and very long, try to find Mitchell. It was 3rd and 26, so now 4th and 26 coming up for the Padres, and they may just try to punch or pooch kick it here. You're in a spot in the field where you would like to go for. As we mentioned before, Serra went for it on a 4th and 2 earlier from around the same spot in the field, but when it's 4th and 26 and you got to get all the way down to the 10-yard line, it's going to be tough to convert this. But they're going for it. At least they line up that way, but now Kazakov in the shotgun, so he may pooch kick it, and he will here. And it's going to bounce at the 5, and it's going to get into the end zone for the touchback. He put too much on that. It ends up being a net of only 16 yards. And St. Francis will take over for the 3rd time. And again, they'll start at their 20-yard line with 3:39 to go in the opening quarter and no score.
And they've just been 3 and out every time.
Yep, St. Francis has not been able to pick up a first down. They have just 2 yards of offense on their first 2 possessions. And Lauk throwing the ball is 1 of 5 for 4 yards. And there's a break in the action here, trying to figure out what this is about. A false start against St. Francis. So they now have 3 penalties. So it's first down and 15. 3:39 to go in the opening quarter. And here's the handoff to the man running right. That's Austin Woodard, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Nowhere to go for Woodard. But we have another penalty. It's a holding penalty against St. Francis. So the penalties keep racking up for the Lancers. And we'll see what the Padres do here, because they're going to bring down Woodard for a loss of about 5. And they will decline it. Actually, a loss of 8 on that play, so an easy call for Serra, as it's now second down and 18. Man goes in motion again. Lined up in the backfield is Devin Hurtado. Here's Lauk, pressured, steps up, tripped up, falls forward, and he may have been able to pick up a yard. Looks like he did. But it's 3rd and 17, so St. Francis again in a 3rd and long. Third and 17. They need to get to the 30 for a first. Serra's defense off to a very good start, just like last week against St. Ignatius. They're showing blitz here. They pressure with 5. Here's a throw by Lauk, far sideline, up in the air, and it's going to be caught. An excellent catch. And that was Charlie Clark on the reception on 3rd and 16. And he ends up picking up 29 yards on that catch. Clark, 428 yards receiving on the year coming into this game. He got a touchdown last week against Mitty. That was the first down for St. Francis this game. This one's going to go as a lateral, and making the catch and running upfield is Alex Andrighetto. We're going to call that as a run for Andrighetto, because it looked like that pass was backwards from Lauk. It ends up being a gain of 5. And it's 2nd down and 5 for the Lancers. No score, 2:09 to play in the opening quarter. 3 receivers set off to the left of Lauk. He's got Hurtado as a back. Lauk drops back 1 step, then throws, and his pass is going to be underthrown and incomplete. Lauk looked like he could have stepped into that pass a little bit more. And that was Clark, again, the intended target. So Lauk is now 2 of 7 for 33 yards. Good defense is on display in this game, and both have played well up to this point. So we're in the final couple minutes of the opening quarter. Lauk looking to pass, and this was going to go as another lateral, taking it upfield and getting knocked out of bounds. A couple yards shy of the first down was Alex Andrighetto.
J-Ray runs him out of bounds.
It's going to be a couple yards shy. So 4th and 2 for the Lancers from the Serra 49-yard line. They're going to bring the punt unit on the field again.
And head coach Nick Navarro in his 3rd year, 16 and 15, and a tie.
Yep, in his 3rd season as coach, they took his team to the CCS Open semifinals a year ago. A 39-23 loss to Palo Alto. Here's Lauk's punt. Aesop Winston returns from his 14. Goes backwards. Running to his right now, and now he's going to be taken down for a loss on that return. There is a flag down as he was taken down at the 11. Have not had a real clean game up to this point. With as the 5th flag. Actually 6 with 1 being declined. If it's against Serra, they're really going to have running into the kick or a tripping penalty. And this is going to move them inside their own 10-yard line. Serra started at the Lancers 42-yard line and also started at their own 47.
Penalty against the Padres. First down.
They start at their Lancers 42, their own 47. Now they start at their own 6-yard line with 1:37 to go in the opening quarter. Their third possession. They've held St. Francis to 3 punts. Redwood gets the carry and gets past the 10-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. So already Eric Redwood, 8 carries for 36 yards. Now needing 82 to become the school's all-time leading rusher. It was Eric Wilson who became the school's all-time leading rusher last season, and also what was the 10th game of the year, and also at home, and he did it against Valley Christian as the carry goes to Kava Cassidy, and he picks up the first down. And Wilson, when he broke that rushing record, he did it in dramatic fashion in terms of a big play, as he broke so many big plays last year for the Padres. He did it on an 89-yard touchdown run. Inside a minute to go, first down and 10. They're at the 19. This is Redwood. And a flag comes down. So yet another penalty. And it's a hold against Serra. So pretty uneventful first quarter here at Freitas Field. A beautiful day in San Mateo, as we've come to expect when we do these Padre games. I'll mark them back at the 11-yard line. And Serra's going to need 18 yards for a first. The handoff to Arco. Arco picks up just a couple. Serra coming in with a record of 8-1, 5-1 in conference play. The Padres haven't won 9 regular season games in over 40 years. It was 1969 the last time Serra won 9 regular season games. They won 8 a year ago, and they're trying for their 9th regular season win this afternoon. See if they get a playoff before the end of the quarter. They do. And the handoff goes to Redwood. And on the final play of the quarter, he picks up a couple, and it's going to be a 3rd and long when we start the second quarter. No score between the Padres and the Lancers from San Mateo. You're watching high school football action on BayPreps.com.
By the way, there are a lot of fans who are watching this game live on BayPreps.com. You can watch the archived version tonight. You can also order a DVD at BayPreps.com.
I'd like to thank some of our sponsors. Call Michael Mowry, your home loan purchase and loan finance expert, at 925-967-3055. Let Michael Mowry at CNA Equity be your bridge, your most profitable equity partners. And Kim's Horse Training, very affordable, family-oriented, the place to go if you're looking for riding lessons, horse training, or boarding. For more information, go to kimshorsetraining.com or call Kim Bredehoft at 925-876-8269. Pretty quick moving first quarter, even though we had a few penalties. No score. Serra's on their 3rd possession. But they have a 3rd down and 13 coming up. They need to get to the 29 for the first. They're at the 16. And they've thrown the ball twice. One's resulted in an incompletion, other one an interception. Here's Kazakov pressure, throwing down the near sideline. Incomplete, intended for Cordova. And Serra's going to have to punt again. So the Padres turned it over with an interception when they were inside the red zone on their first possession. The last two times they have punted the ball. St. Francis has punted it on all three of their possessions.
So far been a good game. As Sacred Heart, I know the score wasn't as big in the first half, and I think this is what it's going to be like.
You're talking about the Serra's game against Sacred Heart Cathedral, which was a 7-7 game at the half and ended up being a 34-7 Padres win. Of course, this Lancers team much better than that Sacred Heart Cathedral team. St. Francis' most impressive win was a win over Valley Christian, as the punt is away from Toms, and it's caught, bobbled for a moment by J.T. Bognano, and he turns it upfield, has a little bit of a seam, makes a nice move. He's taken down inside the 40. J.T. Bognano, the 5'8", 170-pound senior, with a very nice return for St. Francis. And the Lancers, who started at their own 20, their previous three possessions, now start on Serra's half of the field at the Padre 38 with 11:38 to go in the first half. Three receivers lined up to Mike Laux, right side. One of them goes in motion. That's Gabor. Lauk, pass over the middle, incomplete. Good coverage on the play by Justin Reyes. So Lauk just 2 of 8 throwing the ball. Serra's pass defense, such a good job last week against SI, as they held Sten to 14 of 32 passing for 147 yards. Again, the Lancers will use a variety of formations and a lot of motion out of those formations. And it's 2nd down and 10. Here's Lauk. Lauk across the middle. Pass is caught for about a gain of 4. As it was Alexander Ghetto, or I should say Clark. 4-yard reception for Clark, his 2nd catch of the game. So St. Francis just 1 first down thus far. Has a 3rd down and 6 from the Serra 34. Lauk's pass across the middle and incomplete. Intended for Bryson Carbonell. And now we're in the spot of the field where we could expect St. Francis to go for it. Serra's got a much better field goal kicking game than St. Francis. St. Francis has not made a field goal this season. And at the 34-yard line with a team that can throw the ball, it's no surprise they're going to be going for it here on 3rd and 6 from the Padre 34-yard line. Man goes in motion. That's Gabor. Here's Lauk throwing the other side. Lauk pressured by Jacobs. Running for his life. Wants to pass across his body. It's intercepted. Padres were going to take over on downs anyway, but coming up with the interception was Vince Camp.
Vince Camp making the great interception.
Of course, he could have knocked that down, and the Padres would get a little bit better field position since it was 4th down. But they'll take the interception, and this is their 4th possession of the game with 10:44 to go in the first half. They start at their own 30. So each side has thrown an interception. Here's Redwood trying to follow some blocks, and he's able to pick up about 5. Redwood up to 45 yards rushing.
Tackle made by number 23, Austin Woodard.
And we've got a hurt Lancer on the field. And this is not good. He's holding his helmet trying to see who that is, but he's in some considerable pain. Pat O'Rourke with you along with Robert Dieters, a student broadcaster here at Serra. And of course, this is our final regular season football broadcast of the year. Play on Sports has postseason rights, but it's been a good season with all the games we've done this year as we're trying to get a look at that injured Lancer player. The St. Francis defense has played very well. And this is Shane Artem. Boy, that's Shane Artem, I should say. He's one of their best defensive players. I mean, he's a guy that's 4th on the team in tackles. He's got 8.5 sacks to lead the team. And you hope that he can come back in this game. And even if he can't come back in this game, that he can make it back to the playoffs, because St. Francis, playing in Division II this year, is probably going to be a favorite in Division II to win a CCS title. Second down for the Padres, 2nd and 5 with 10:15 to go in the first half. And the handoff goes for very little for Kava Cassidy. Cassidy getting worked in more and more. He's just a sophomore. At 6 foot, 185 pounds. 3rd down and 5. Serra keeps finding themselves in these 3rd down, and not the ideal for a team that loves to run the ball and has ran the ball so well this season. In a 3rd and 5 spot, but they'll give it to Arco. Arco runs over the right side, and he picks up the first down. Serra has ran for at least 317 yards in every WCAL game this year. That's pretty tough when you talk about the defenses that they go up against on a game-to-game basis. And that includes last week's outstanding mark when they ran for 411 yards against SI. 1st and 10 from their own 42, 9:13 to go in the quarter. Here is Redwood, and Redwood picks up a yard. Serra's ran for 88 yards thus far against a tough Lancer D. No score. We're in the 2nd quarter. Serra's on their 4th possession. St. Francis has just 1 first down on their 4 possessions. Kazakov fakes the handoff and wants to run it himself, but the Lancer D was ready for him. And he was chopped down by Woodard. 6 foot, 190 pound senior. Woodard has 8 touchdown catches on offense this year, and he's you talk about all these school records which could be broken for each side today. He's 1 touchdown catch away from tying a single season St. Francis record for touchdown receptions in a season. He makes a good tackle on defense there. And it's 3rd down and 7 from the 45. Kazakov, short drop, pass deflected and incomplete. So Kazakov 0 for 4 passing. Lauk on the other side is just 3 for 11. And the defenses continue to make stops. Serra will punt. St. Francis has been held to 41 total yards, 89 yards for Serra. And here is the punt. It is returnable from the 19. Running to his right is Landon Beatty. Beatty looking for some blocks, takes it up the far sideline, and it's a good return as he gets past the 40-yard line. And it gets a little bit of a cheer from the other side from the faithful that have traveled from Mountain View. And St. Francis will start at their own 41-yard line.
Beatty got some good yards so far on the punt returns today.
Coach Navarro, we did an interview with him, and we talk to coaches every week on BayPreps.com, and we put the audio up on the web. And Coach Navarro talking about how his special teams he feels have been solid all year. And, of course, Coach Walsh feels the same way about his special teams. First down and 10 for Lauk and company. And Lauk is pressured right away, and he's taken down. A flag does come down as Dickerson got to him. And I wonder if there was a face mask there. To see what this call is. It is a personal foul, face mask against Serra. And that wipes away. There was no need to do that. They were going to bring down Lauk for a big loss. They had a couple guys in the area. So it ends up being, they'll mark the football at the 47. And it's first down and 4 yards to go. And it's a fumble on the exchange. And it looks like St. Francis was able to get it back. It was not a clean exchange there between Lauk and Andrighetto. So second down and 5. 6:48 to go in the first half. The defenses, as you can see by the score on your screen, have dominated this one. That's Hurtado, goes in motion, lines up in the backfield behind Lauk. Lauk's pass across the middle is going to be caught for a first down inside the Serra 45-yard line.
Not complete to Woodard. Camp makes the stop and up before Lancer, first down.
Pick up 12 on the play.
And there is an injury on the field.
That was just the second first down for St. Francis. I'd like to thank Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria, the place to go after the game, and at Oak Grove and Ignacio and Walnut Creek. They're open late, full bar, longtime supporter of high school sports. Again, on the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria if you're ever in the East Bay. As Greg Newbeck, who was hurt for a moment, comes off the field and gets a good hand. If you're ever in East Bay, the best place to eat is at Rocco's. It's first down and 10 for St. Francis from the Padre 42-yard line. And that pass reception means Mike Lauk has tied a St. Francis single-season record for completions in this season. He'll give the handoff to Hurtado, who takes a big shot from Fia Malapei after a couple of yards. Hurtado, 199 yards rushing on the year. That's good enough for second on this team that does not run the ball for much yardage. Their leading rusher is Andrighetto with 248 yards on the season. We're past the midway point of the second quarter. Still looking for our first points of this game. Second down and 8. Here's Lauk having to step up in the pocket. He's got room to run. Lauk inside the 30, puts his head down. And the ball came loose at the end, and the Lancers do fall on it. Does Andrighetto. I believe they're going to say he was down. And it's going to be a 16-yard gain for Lauk. We saw a little bit of that last week for St. Ignatius' Jack Stinn, who ran for about 50 yards in that game, although he did not run much in the second half. So the Lancers pick up another first down. They started this drive at their own 41. From the Serra 24. Lauk throwing again. Across the middle, incomplete. Well over the head of Austin Woodard.
Woodard, number 23. Winston providing coverage for the Padres. Second down.
So it's 2nd and 10. 5:13 to go in the first half. This is the 5th possession of the game for St. Francis. Serra will get the ball first to start the second half. Woodard lines up as a receiver to Lauk's left. Hurtado now in the backfield with him, coming from motion from the other side. Here's the pass. It's going to be incomplete. Through the hands on the far side from Andrighetto. Would have been about a 4 or 5 yard gain. And now it's 3rd down and 10.
Both these defenses have done great today as it's still 0-0 with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this game.
And Lauk is now 4 of 14 passing for 49 yards. Pressured here, pass across the middle. It's going to be deflected and incomplete, nearly intercepted by Cordova, who is coming off his best game of the season last week against SI. He knocks that pass down. And it's 4th down, and St. Francis, we assume, is going to go for it here. Or actually, they're going to kick a field goal. The Lancers have not made a field goal this season. They're going to see if Patrick Fordham, Jr., can boot this one through the uprights and give his team a 3-0 lead. It's going to be a 41-yard field goal. And Serra jumped. That was Daniel Lavulo, who left early. It's still going to be 4th down, but it's going to make it a closer kick. So it's going to be a 36-yard field goal, and I think St. Francis is going to talk this one over. They're going to talk this one over because they could go for it. Now it's a 4th and 5. It's a little bit more of a makeable 4th down. We're only in the second quarter, but this is a big moment in this game considering that both teams have had such trouble moving the ball.
I'm told to say this and not say this at the same time, so don't listen. It's Errol Jones' birthday. Errol is the father of Nick and Nate on the JV team.
.505 to go here in the first half. Out of the timeout. Let's see what St. Francis, they're still going to kick the field goal. Fordham is still on the field. Again, St. Francis has not made a field goal this season. And this is going to be, I guess there was not a penalty in the last one. This is going to be, though, still a 41-yarder. And we've got a flag. And he was going to boot that through the uprights. Well, that was a great kick by Fordham, but it's going to be wiped out, and Fordham's upset, thinking he just could have had his first made field goal of the year, but it's an encroachment penalty against Serra. So it's a 36-yarder. And let's see if Fordham can make it again, because that was a great kick he just had that didn't count. This is a 36-yarder. And this one is certainly long enough, and it is good. A 36-yard field goal for Patrick Fordham, and St. Francis has put the first points to the board. It is 3-0 Lancers with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter.
St. Francis taking the early lead 3-0. And Serra is just, their offense needs to come alive second half or in the next 5 minutes.
It was a 7-play, 40-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 40 seconds, capped off by the field goal. It's just rare to see Serra struggle to move the ball. This is a team, Serra, that has scored at least 30 points in every game this season. And they're averaging 40.1 points per game. But they have been shut down on their first 4 possessions, and we'll see how they respond with a lot of time to go before halftime. So here's Fordham, who has consistently booted it in the end zone this year, and this is going to be another touchback for Fordham, who's got a great leg. And Serra will start at the 20. Eric Redwood's got 12 carries, 46 yards. The Padre team has ran for 89 yards. They have no yards passing. It's a team that has ran for at least 317 yards in every WCAL game this season. Here's the handoff to Redwood, and Redwood picks up about 5. Grant Tinker, good to see Tinker back in. He left the game before, but Redwood picks up about 5. Again, Redwood needing 118 yards rushing today to become the school's all-time leading rusher. He's also hoping to become the leading rusher in the WCAL. The handoff, running left, and getting taken down for a loss is Cava Cassidy. And that's going to be a loss. So again, Serra in the familiar 3rd and long. It's 3rd and 6. Pretty subdued crowd here at Serra on senior day. Kazakov on play action trying to set up a screen, but his pass is underthrown for Redwood. Kazakov now 0 for 5 passing, and Serra's going to punt again.
Serra's offense just hasn't put up any points in this first half.
And they're a team that's managed about 3 or 4 first downs with 3:47 to go in the half. A little bit of a low snap, and the punt is away from Anthony Toms, and the fair catch is called at the 45 by JT Bagnano. So St. Francis will start at their own 46. 3:42 to go in the half. They have a chance to make it a 2-score game. It's a passing attack that can put points on the board quickly. Lauk. Pass caught out of the backfield. Gubor breaks a tackle. Pass midfield, puts his head down. And Gubor, a couple yards shy of a first, we'll call it a gain of 8. Lauk now is the all-time single-season leader in St. Francis history in completions as well as attempts. 3:13 to go in the half on 2nd and 2. His deep ball over the far side of the field is incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
He was looking for Bryson Carbonell. Already the 17th pass attempt of the game for Lauk, who threw 41 times last week against Mitty. Coach Walsh remarking in our interview with him that he saw St. Francis throw the ball at 17 consecutive plays in last week's game against the Monarchs. 3rd down and 2. They do not have much of a ground game. Just 7 yards rushing today. And the handoff is a first down, though. A flag comes in as Austin Gubor got the carry, and he picked up about 5, but it's coming back. So St. Francis picks up their 4th penalty. Serra's got 5 of them. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 14 yards to go as they mark it from the spot of the foul. We've seen a lot of these 3rd down and longs in this first half. 2:56 to go in the first half. 3-0 St. Francis. Here's Lauk. Pressured. Pass far sidelines, incomplete. He just wanted to avoid a sack as Fia Malapei was tracking him down. And St. Francis will once again punt. So the Serra defense continues to play very, very well. And it's a defense that now the last game and a half they've played extremely well after allowing 35 points to an excellent Valley Christian offense. So Winston back to return the punt from Lauk. His 5th punt of the, make that his 4th punt of the game. And that's off the side of his foot. That's not a good one at all. It's over near the Lancers sideline, but it does take a St. Francis bounce and rolls to the 29 of Serra. And ends up as a 29-yard punt. So Serra again with the ball with 2:40 to go in the half. Their best opportunity came on their first possession. And they got just inside the red zone, but Kazakov threw an interception into the end zone. That was picked off by Landon Beatty. Here's a low pitch to Redwood, who again struggles to find room as the Lancer defense brings him down after maybe a yard or two. Redwood 14 carries, 53 yards. Give the St. Francis defense credit. It's a team that held Bellarmine to just 16 points. It was a 16-7 loss when they played the Bells. They held SI to 22 points. And we got flags coming in once again. And it's a procedure penalty against Serra. So Serra just all out of sorts offensively. But again, we're seeing why St. Francis, why a betting man would take the Lancers to win to the CCS Division II crown. They could be a high seed. If they lose this game, it's looking like they're going to be a number 3 seed, at least according to projections we saw in Prep Feed. But no matter what they are, you would think they're a favorite as Kazakov runs on 2nd down and 13. And Kazakov does a good job staying on his feet, and he gets a first down up to the 40. And we get a little bit of noise from the Padre faithful as the offense has struggled to compile those first downs. It's 1st and 10, but 1:34 to go in the half, and they'll restart the clock. Serra does have all 3 of their timeouts. Kazakov throwing. He has not completed a pass yet. He does here on the near side to Cordova, who steps out of bounds after a gain of 4. Cordova had 45 yards receiving last week against SI. He steps out with 1:20 to go in the half. The only points in this game, a 36-yard field goal from St. Francis's Patrick Fordham. Second and 6. The pitch to Faita. And he tries to dance and make a move, and he ends up getting taken down for a big loss. Loss of 6 on the play for Faita. And now the clock rolling, and it's 3rd down and long inside a minute to go.
Serra still has all of their timeouts left.
Yeah, then they don't want to, I guess, give St. Francis too much time in case they don't get the 3rd down here. So that's why they're not as in much of a rush. If they don't get this 3rd down, they could be giving the ball back. And here's the pitch over the left side. Cassidy, he's looking for the 1st down marker right at midfield. Almost a broken play. Someone in Serra kind of almost fell down there when they were about to go in motion. And Cassidy picks up, looks like 11. It's 4th down and 1 with 28 seconds left. And Coach Walsh is going to use up one of those timeouts to figure out what to do here. It's a tough spot as a head coach. You're right at midfield. You only need a yard for the first, but at the same time, you don't get it. You give St. Francis a chance. The Lancers, if you don't get a 1st down here, you're giving the Lancers a chance for about 3 or 4 plays.
I think in this situation, Walsh would, I don't know, maybe he would run it or punt it. That's pretty much what they might do here.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much your options in terms of here on 4th down and less than a yard to go. 28.5 seconds left in this first half. Serra has converted a 4th down today, but even if you get the 1st down, you're still only going to have a chance for maybe 3 or 4 plays before halftime.
Earlier today, JV, St. Francis won 31-0 against the Serra Padres.
It is senior day here at San Mateo at Freitas Field. It's defense day, at least what we've seen in the first half. Serra 4th, and it's about a foot for a 1st down. They are going for it. Redwood takes it up the middle. He's got the 1st down, and he takes it to the 48-yard line. So the clock stops because of the 1st down with 23 seconds left. We'll see if Serra uses up a timeout here. Looks like they're going to quickly run a play. The official restarts the clock, but they haven't yet moved the chains. Here's the fake pitch by Kazakov. He's trying to throw. He's rushed from behind. His pass is up for grabs, and it is going to be, it was like a 3 flies up play, and it ends up being incomplete. It had a number of bodies, both white and blue shirts in the area. It goes as an incompletion with 11 seconds left.
It almost looked like an interception from St. Francis, but I guess it wasn't.
Well, it bounced off the defender's hands, and it nearly ended up in a Padre player's hands. Serra is now 1 of 7 passing for 4 yards and an interception. Of course, they're not known for their passing. Their running game's been stifled, though, in the first half as Redwood takes it up the middle and takes it to the 45-yard line with 6 seconds. He'll pick up just 3. Serra is going to use up a timeout. The Lancers started heading towards the locker room thinking that it was going to be halftime, but Serra does in fact use up a timeout, and they're going to try to score before the end of the half.
2.7 seconds remain in the half. There are the Jones boys bringing their dad their birthday present.
So the 45-yard line is where the Padres will have it. And time for just one play with 2.7 seconds left. Serra. And the running numbers aren't too bad. Most teams will take, 119 yards rushing in the first half. But they've been unable to put any drives together. And really, when you look back, the big play in this game was the interception by Landon Beatty off a deflection in the end zone. When Serra was moving the ball, they got good field position to start, starting at the Lancer 42. They got down to about the 19, but the interception ended that first possession. And Serra's been unable to score since. Now the double wing set. The last play of the half, barring a defensive penalty, is a run to Arco. And Arco is taken down at the 41. A gain of 4 yards for Arco. And Serra trailing at the half. They're trailing at the half for the first time since their game against Bellarmine. It is 3-0 St. Francis on a 36-yard field goal by Patrick Fordham. You're watching high school football on BayPreps.com. Pat O'Rourke with you here on BayPreps.com, and with me is Robert Dieters, a student broadcaster here at Serra. The score at the halftime break is 3-0 in favor of St. Francis. The Lancers getting a 36-yard field goal from Patrick Fordham with 5 minutes left in the first half to take this 3-0 lead, and they've done so obviously with an outstanding effort on defense, considering Serra is averaging 40.1 points per game, and they have scored at least 30 points in every game they've played this year, but nothing here in the first half. In their final regular season game, they're trying to win 9 games in the regular season for the first time in 43 years. Yes, 1969 was the last time. That was the last time they won an outright WCAL championship. That was also the last time they won 9 games in a regular season. But they have been bottled up thus far. They do have more yards than St. Francis. Serra's got 127 yards, 123 on the ground. St. Francis has 64 yards, 57 through the air, and only 7 on the ground. The leading rusher, of course, is Eric Redwood, who's trying to become Serra's all-time leading rusher. He needs 118 yards, and he's 60 shy right now. He's got 58 yards on 16 carries. Angelo Arco, 6 carries for 26 yards. Kavak Cassidy, 6 carries for 30 yards. Matt Faita has 1 carry for -6 yards. And Zach Kazakov has 3 carries for 15 yards. Kazakov passing is 1 of 7 for 4 yards and an interception. That 4-yard completion was to Josh Cordova. Serra's got 6 penalties for 51 yards. As for St. Francis, obviously they haven't had much going offensively either. Alexandra Ghetto's got 3 carries for 7 yards. Hurtado, 1 carry, 2 yards. Gubor, 1 carry, -2 yards. Woodard, 1 carry, -8 yards. And Michael Lauk has 3 carries for 8 yards. Lauk has set a single-season St. Francis school record in completions and attempts. He needed 4 completions and 14 attempts, and he hasn't been a great first half, just 5 of 18, but he did set those school records, 5 of 18 for 57 yards, and he also has thrown an interception. Clark has 2 catches, 33 yards. Woodard, 1 catch, 12 yards. Gubor, 1 catch, 8 yards, and Andrew Ghetto has 1 catch for 4 yards. Obviously not too hard to total up the statistics in this one, as the defenses have dominated. And Serra will get the ball first to begin the second half, and we'll see what the Padres and Coach Walsh have up their sleeves. Serra trailing 3-0. They won their opening game against Wilcox 30-6. They beat Encinal 56-7, beat Buhack Colony 36-35. A 30-21 win over Mitty, 56-0 over Reardon. 35-34 loss to overtime, and a Bellarmine 34-7 win over Sacred Heart Cathedral, 38-35 over Valley Christian, 47-21 over SI. Obviously, they put a lot of points on the board. They're going to start from their own 20 to start this second half, as it's nearly automatic for the kicker, Patrick Fordham, to boot it into the end zone. So Serra, whose best possession of this game was their first possession, when they started at the Lancer 42 in terms of best opportunity, they got inside the 20-yard line, but Zach Kazakov's pass was deflected and intercepted in the end zone by Landon Beatty. So here are the Padres, 1st and 10. Arco goes in motion. They'll fake it to Redwood, give a pitch to Arco, far sideline, and he gets good yardage as he's knocked out of bounds. And there's a flag that comes in. There was a big block upfield, and apparently, according to the official, something illegal about it. That was well near the end of the run for Arco. And it is a personal foul penalty against Serra. I'm not sure if that came because the officials saying the hit was too late. Pretty much wipes away the 7-yard gain from Arco, although they will mark it from the spot of the foul. But that's 7 penalties now on the Padres.
And the penalties really add up here for both teams.
St. Francis has 4 penalties, but not nearly close to the yardage at Serra. has had. It's their second 15-yard penalty of this game. And this is Redwood from his own 14. He gets close to the 20. His 17th carry of the game. Coming off a 227-yard effort against SI. He's a guy that's ran for at least 150 yards in 4 straight games coming into this one. The only game where he really didn't gain many yards was against Reardon. That's only because he got 2 carries because the Padres won that game so handily. It's 3rd down and 10. Kazakov looking to throw as he rolls, and it's incomplete. Beatty nearly came up with another interception as that pass was intended for Jacobs. And Serra, that's still a concern. No matter what happens in this game heading into the open playoffs, I mean, they're a team, if they're running the ball, you don't have to worry too much about that's a passing game. But when the running game is ordinary like it is today, the passing game has more pressure on it, and they have not had it's not been a bad passing game, but they haven't had to use it too much this season as the punt is away by Toms after a 3-and-out. And it takes a Serra bounce. It skips to JT Bagnano, and he has taken down. Good coverage on the play by Nick Maka. So the Serra defense comes on the field, and they've played great defense today.
First and 10 Lancers after the 42-yard Toms punt.
They'll start at their own 38 with 10:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. St. Francis defense has now held Serra without any points for 7 possessions. Wow, a little bit of a delay. Play action here. Wants to throw downfield. The pass is caught. Charlie Clark makes the reception. He's inside Serra territory. Second or third catch of the game for Clark,
First down into Padre territory.
who had 428 yards receiving on 33 catches coming into this game, and he's coming off a big game against Mitty in that 35-21 loss last week. He had 124 yards receiving and a touchdown last week against the Monarchs. First down and 10. Lauk passes under duress to Clark again, a short reception.
Pass complete to Clark.
So 4 catches for Clark today. St. Francis can really put a lot of pressure on the Padres if they can get in the end zone. It's 2nd down and 8 from the Serra 39. Clark goes in motion. The handoff up the middle to Hurtado, and this is a good gain, one of the few very good rushing gains of the day for St. Francis. And that's big for the Lancer sidelines. They try to keep this Serra defense honest. 6 yards for Hurtado. It's 3rd down and 2 from the Serra 33. This is where you expect 4-down territory. Lauk trying to set up a screen pass out of the backfield, making a catch, and a nice move by Andrighetto down the near sideline. He's tripped up inside the 20.
Pass complete to number 20.
Alex Andrighetto made a great move there to pick up the first down, and then once he made that move, he was able to get at least another 10 to 15 yards. So he takes it down to the 16. So 3 straight completions for Lauk to start the second half. 1st and 10 from the 16. Lauk, again a screen, wide open Andrighetto. He's inside the 10, the 5. He reaches for the end zone, and they're going to rule him down just shy of the end zone. And he got, I'm not sure how he got so wide open, and once again, now the backfield as they set up that screen. 15 more yards. And it's first and goal. Now can St. Francis get that yard? Usually teams that are pass heavy can struggle inside the red zone. They only need a yard here, and they're going to line up with a spread set with 2 receivers set to each side, trying to spread out the defense here on first and goal. And they'll give it to Hurtado, and he is going to get in. Touchdown, St. Francis. So St. Francis on their first possession of the second half gets 6, our first touchdown of the day. It was Devin Hurtado, 6'2", 190-pound sophomore, to make it 9-0 with 8:35 to go in the third quarter. And it has gotten very Serra's half of the field here.